Stevie Bass Jackson, Bahrain 1 Racing with another episode of Project Ronnie. It's been a long time in the making getting to this episode. We have been racing our tails off. We've been all over the country with our Pro Mod team racing and very little time in the shop. When we left last time, we had just kind of got the chassis media blasted and we were ready to start kind of working on final assembly. As you guys can see, that project is starting to come along. We got 2 coats of steel on the chassis. Chassis is starting to look good. We have a mock-up engine that Robert at Abby's Performance Engines let us borrow. It's got a hole in the bottom of it where I probably threw a rod out of it. We've got a mock-up transmission in it, and what we're doing in this episode is we're kind of finishing our bottom part of our drivetrain. A lot of guys like the outside to look super hot rod and they don't really care what's underneath. We're backwards over here. I want the super hot rod stuff in the guts of the truck, and I don't really care what the top looks like. When it comes to driveline components, we spared no expense. I wanted to put the best parts that money can buy in the driveline on this thing. You see a Strange Engineering 9-inch fab housing. You see Strange Engineering third member. We're gonna have Strange Engineering brakes all the way around. I plan on this thing being pretty fast. It needs a lot of go, but it's gonna need a lot of whoa too. JC and Jeff saw the brakes that came with our front and rear suspension kit, and they told us that we absolutely cannot install that on this vehicle. That's not in the theme of the vehicle, and they built us some custom brake kits front and rear to get this thing stopped. So what we're doing now is we're setting up our driveline angle so that we can tack. I had them send us a bare housing simply because I wasn't certain on width yet, and I wasn't certain on them welding the 4-link brackets to it without having the truck there to get the driveline angles correct. So what we did is we have a mock-up engine in here. We've set the drivetrain, the engine and transmission at 3 degrees downhill. That's pretty standard. I know all you classic road racing truck people are gonna tell us that we're doing this wrong, and before y'all start, come help us. What we've done is pulled a string from the center of the rear tail shaft on the transmission to the center of the pinion yoke, and we're using that to get our driveline angle. Rear end centered in the truck, drive shaft centered in the truck. We're gonna tack the 4-link brackets on, then we're gonna measure for overall width. We'll ship that housing back to Jeff and the boys at Strange Engineering, have them whack it, put ends on it, and we'll be ready to put this thing together where it'll roll around. Sig, what do you think about these top shelf Project Ronnie parts that be coming in left and right? It's upside down there, don't you? You gotta start from the top. There we go. Now we're in the game. We got a little Project Ronnie third member action coming in hot. See what kind of gloriousness JC and Jeff strapped us up for Ronnie. Ooh, I know y'all trying to see that gear ratio I'm putting in there, but I can't see that. Old Cleater will be trying to outperform me if he got to see that and turn that thing around backwards. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thing looks good, baby. Looks like my boys did a good job setting the old pattern up on this unit. All right, what do you think, Nitro? What do you think we got to do about this Project Ronnie? Yeah, me too. All right, it's been a very long racing season for us. We've been wide open, we've been short-staffed, we've been getting everything done on the racetrack that we can. Finished second in points in NHRA, which is obviously not where you want to be, but decent season. And now it is time to get back on Project Ronnie. I got enough hate mail about me not finishing this truck by Gainesville, like I said I was gonna do, to it even trumps all the death threats I got every time I talk about the Sesame Street Outlaws. So we're getting close. We got the smokiest, most awesome Strange Engineering housing in the world that we're fitting up under this thing. And we got our 4-link brackets tacked, and I'm getting ready to tack shock brackets. We've calculated overall housing width. Funny story. So I wasn't sure on wheel width when we were ordering parts for this thing in March. So I ordered one rear wheel, so that I could mount it and make sure that it was it before I ended up ordering a second one. Well, now that wheel's discontinued, so I have one really expensive $900 wheel. It's got a tire mounted to it. It's completely useless, but I was at least able to calculate overall housing width. So it looks like it's going to be 61 inches flange to flange, and that should give us 3/4 of an inch of tire clearance to the outside of the bed, and then we're going to have to massage the inside of the bed just a little bit to try to get us under there. I have so many racing updates that I cannot wait to share with you guys that are just, I'm just waiting on the right time to like make sure everything's kind of in the game. Basically on this truck, drive angles, the drivetrain angle is set, foiling brackets are tacked, and then we've got our shock mounts. With this thing being a 61-inch housing flange to flange, Strange Engineering's gonna have to cut off a little bit of the housing. I had them send it long. Basically, I've got our marks there for the outside of our shock bracket. That's gonna be pretty much right there. It's gonna be so glorious. So much horsepower to be had. When you like race cars for a living, I'm spending way too much time on all this stuff. Like, I probably could just finish it, but no, it's gotta be, you know, absolutely perfect. All right, now we get to strip all this bad boy out, crate it up, send it to JC and Jeff and the boys at Strange. We'll get her hacked up, chopped up, powder coated, and be ready to get this thing on the ground. I gotta figure out what I'm gonna put on it for front wheels, but I'm discouraged about my wheels getting discontinued, so I gotta pick a new wheel, try to get the front measurement right, and order 4 at one time before we end up in the same boat. All right, we're finally getting to the point in Project Ronnie where it's starting to get some of the fun stuff that I like to work on. So we've got our suspension all bolted up, everything's snug, and we're ready to start putting our brakes on the front suspension. Now the kit that we got came with this type of stuff for brakes, and when the guys at Strange, when I told them that when they were doing the rear end housing, I told them that we were going to bolt this on there, they refused to allow me to bolt that on there. So unless you're like lifting weights and trying to get swole up, this isn't for you. Jeff and JC and the guys at Strange Engineering built us a custom brake kit for Project Ronnie. They wanted it to be cool. They wanted it with something light, something swanky, and something that kind of fit the spirit of this project. So we saved about 30 or 40 pounds. I'll have to weigh it. I put it on my social media when we first got it in. 30 or 40 pounds, putting some quality components on there. So they modified our spindle, built us a custom hat and rotor deal, directional, billet caliper, nice swanky pads, and a billet spindle to put on there. When you're gonna build a 1500 horsepower blown engine to drive around on the street, sometimes the woe gets overlooked when we're so focused on the go. I've crashed enough, I've been on fire enough, the woe is important to me. So we're gonna get started on bolting this deal together and see if we can get some brakes on today.
He's in the wall with a shadow. Everybody stay where you're at, please. Everybody stay where you're at, 380.
All right, gonna get a little wheel stud action in our hubs. Never, ever, ever use an impact to run this in. Be slow, be careful. What I like to do is get them a little close. I don't put Loctite on them way out here because I don't want to gunk up my threads. But I'll get them, just ease them in there. Don't be trying to get crazy or nothing. And then when I get them close, I'll put a little drop of red on there. I was very close to making a fixture in my mill to hold this. I was like, I decided to be lazy and use the impact like an idiot. That's why you don't do that. Just remember, if it stops, stop. I'm trying to help you. But first thread, got a little burr on there. In drag racing, we have a saying that cross threads better than Loctite. You don't want to be Loctite and all your cool shit. Once you get it closed, put a little drop of red on there. You can probably use blue on this. It's in a, the lug nut's gonna hold the thing from backing up. But Ronnie is gonna be going about 280 miles an hour, so we'll give him a little sprinkle. Once we get this thing on there, get everything bled. If these were to move, you can hold the brake and torque them. They won't move. All right, hubbarooskies are done. About to start bolting on the cool shit. We sent our spindle to Strange Engineering to fit up all the hubs and stuff, so I know the bearings are gonna fit. But do yourself a favor before you get these packed, slimy, greasy, and in the hub. Make sure they fit the spindle. They do. You'll have a larger bearing on the inside, smaller one on the outside, and then also make sure your seal fits. It does look like it's good. All right, now a lot of folks use a bearing packer for this. I am old school and worked on cars and did brakes on cars before we had sealed hubs. So I'm old school, like to slime it all over me and roll around in it, and I pack I have a bearing packer, like a nice one. You pump it up and pack the bearing, but it's much better, especially when you're using some quality Lucas, to just slime around in it. Pile it in there and do it old school the way we did it in the old days. Pack that thing. Get it right on in there. Not quite as fast and cool as the awesome bearing packer. If Cord was in here, he'd be laughing at me. But I'm old school. I'll get all that in there, and I guarantee it, I'll do it just as good as any bearing packer. When you see that thing squirting grease titties out the front, you're in the game. All right, she's high and tight. Give the old, use some of that left over to give the old spindle a lubarooski. Get her ready for the track. Knock our seal in there. We'll be ready to fit that hub on there. Oh man, when it fits nice, it's so good. So good, so good. All right, because I cannot find my bearing racing seal driver kit because it's early and no one's here and I've looked everywhere and I'm bored, we're not gonna knock this in with a socket like I want to. We're gonna improvise and use a KTR Pro 600 cam sync adapter. Also is gonna double as a Strange Engineering seal driver. Look at that thing, boy. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Feel like we're getting where we need to be now. Oh yeah. Oh, we need to go ahead and get another one of them. Bam! Look at that. On sale at steviefast.com. If you're putting strange brakes on your car, struggling with the seal, mag drive adapter will get you in the game. Alright, don't forget to schlube up your seal. Get it schlubed. Ready for the track. We're gonna pile this bad boy on there. We'll be ready to make some smoke here pretty soon. We do not yet know whether or not we need to space out our caliper bracket, but we'll install it with nothing first. We're gonna assume, you know what they say about assuming? We're gonna assume that we don't need one. But they did send some nice machined, put a little blue on that one. They did send some nice machined washers in case we did. Word to the wise, if you're using dissimilar metal and it's a countersunk bolt,
you really don't need Loctite. You'll never get it out. So we're gonna put a tad of blue on it more just as a thread lube than anything. But if it's dissimilar metal and that thing's countersunk, like the earth will end before it will come loose. I've got some smoky washers. Got a bearing in there. We're just gonna assume it's all gonna work, which normally it does not. You're gonna have to do a little shimming, a little tweaking, but I got faith. I like to put a little more pressure on there than you would. Make sure the bearing's seated in the race. And we basically set up, unless it's a sealed ceramic bearing, we set up most of the race cars this way too. Then I'll ease back, you'll feel it free up. All right, and then it's loose. You don't need that anymore. Kind of go in, feel it drag, and just back it off to the next hole. This thing's got a castle nut needs to be longer because the holes are too far out. Because it's made for Walmart. So we're gonna have to get a washer to fit that. So our holes in our spindle are out past the grooves in our castle nut. So that would allow the nut to rotate a little bit. So what we'll do is we're gonna put a washer in between that. We need to get this spindle nut out about right there. So it looks like we need about 125 thou washer to put behind the nut to get it where it needs to be. Because these spindles were originally designed for the Walmart brakes. I'm gonna speculate that that's about a 3/4. Yeah, it looks like we're gonna have to make a couple washers. Stay tuned. All right, so our spindle is about 740 thousandths. I need about 125 thousandths thick spacer. And the only washers I have that are kind of swanky and hardened and fit like I want are too small. So we're just going to smoke them up in a lathe and see if I can drill them. I don't know how hard they are, whether it wants to get all crazy. If this doesn't work, we'll come up with more intense means. When it starts getting cold, I do start wanting to work on shit like flamethrowers and shit like that. Give her a drill bit, a little lube to give her a shot. One of two things are going to happen. It's either going to start cutting or start howling. Pretty painless. Pretty painless. Could get out of hand and countersink this thing and make it nice, huh? I mean, what would be the downside of making it nice? That right there is the kind of steps that's going to get us in the Burnout Hall of Fame. That way when old Cletus McFarland's out there trying to out tire smoke me, this properly countersunk spindle washer is going to be why we can stay out front. Look at that thing. Look like you got that thing from Summer Racing. Going on the tool hard. I always tell when somebody's been using my shit. Everybody else can too. Everybody out there just a machinist, you can tell when somebody's been using your life. Because it's messed up. Alright, let's go see if we can bolt this thing together. Alright, with any luck, we're going to be... Ooh, that's so nice. Pretty glorious right there. Oh yeah, now we're in the game on our cottering pin position. Alright, because I'm not sure if I'm going to take this back off, I'm not going to really spend a lot of time setting up the preload yet. there's smoke in there in a little bit. That's pretty damn close. All right, we gotta schroeder it up. Look at that thing. Strap us a couple nuts on there. Oh my goodness, so nice. All right, I'm just piling in anything. All looks pretty good. We're going to strap us some Paderewskis in the caliper, and then we will see if it fits. Ooh, man. All right, so no spacers at all. It looks like the rotor's dead center of the caliper. And that's what you're hunting, like pretty much on anything. Like our carbon stuff's all machine, but a lot of your street car stuff, you'll get to where you'll end up with the caliper off to one side and it's trying to rub. This thing, you can tell that they built it perfect because it'll have no shims, no spacers, and you're hunting that rotor hat to be dead in the middle of that caliper. And when it's right there, you'll have the best wear with the least amount of drag. You don't want, can't stand to see when these things come around the corner squeaking like a shopping cart from Piggly Wiggly. So we'll strap some pads in there, and then we're gonna bolt this unit up. We'll set our bearing preload, cotter pin it, cap it, do the other side. Be ready. It's kind of hanky a little bit. All right, these things have a anti-chatter deal in there. I don't know what you're supposed to call it, but basically it keeps the thing from squealing. It's got a little metal gizmo jiggers in there. Our race car stuff doesn't have that, but it's pretty nice. Probably wouldn't hurt, as in all things in life, is to put just a little bit of lube on there. They're piled up in there. Oh yes. Oh yes. Get our spicer in there the way she fits. Perfecto mundo. We're going to tighten up our locking nut. Yep. Those one deals where I can go over there and get a ratchet wrench, but by the time I get the damn thing done, by the time I get back, I'll have it tight. So we'll just suffer through it. And on these things, don't kill them. Like all this doing is holding the brake pad there. Like the caliper's all bolted together. So just give it, that's why it's got a lock nut. It's not supposed to be tight. Take it there, back it off just a little bit, make sure your deal is turned, and then your calipers, your brake pads can be smoky free and enjoying it. Calipers and rotors in this kit are directional, so take a peek at your arrow, make sure your burner tires are the right way. Some people, like if Jay Cox was putting this on there, he'd probably put it on backwards because his car's faster in reverse than the bitches in forward. So you gotta be careful. If y'all are coming to the Snowbirds and this video comes out for the Snowbirds, I want to let y'all know I have been Jay Cox's daddy for about 20 years, and I'm gonna be his daddy again. No offense to Lloyd, because I love Lloyd, Jay Cox's actual daddy, but I'm his racetrack daddy. I don't know if you can handle the sort of performance we got going on here. This thing might be. Like when we get where we're at now, and like stuff starts coming together and looking like cool race car looking parts, I start getting fired up and want to work on it. All right, now all that's left is a little preload action here on our bearing. I say all that's left. We still got to build brake lines, plumb shit, do a bunch of other shit, line stuff, and do all kind of craziness. One thing at a time. Like Johnny Cash song. I got her one piece at a time, and it didn't cost me a dime. I like that right there. I don't want her to be hanking around, but Put that right there. Don't be one of these jokers that doesn't know how to like do the cotter pin correctly. Like, cotter pin goes in, don't wrap it around the nut so it gets all piled in the cap like a hillbilly. Put that thing in there, let it fit in the groove, and drag it around the front like it's supposed to be done. And then like all you brake guys are gonna be like, you're an idiot. Only time this won't work is if your cap is not deep enough. Little lube on there. Our race cars, it'll actually go, the car runs fast enough and this builds heat fast enough that it'll actually pop these off. But Ronnie tootling around to the Sonic getting ice cream probably won't have that problem. So you'll see a lot of guys in Pro Mod, they'll I actually learned it from Ricky Smith. They'll go right here and they'll put a piece, you'll see a piece of electrical tape around their deal, and it's to stop that from popping off. All right, brake system installed, front suspension installed, rear end housing sent off to get ends put on it. Next up, we got to order wheels and tires. I may let you guys pick them. We will see the wheel. I ordered one rear wheel, and I talked about this a little earlier. And this has not been that long ago. It was like March or so, April, whenever we kind of get serious about this project. And now they've discontinued that wheel. So I have one wheel that I love, and they don't make it anymore. So we're gonna try to figure out, I had held off, I wanted to make sure it fit the back, and then I wanted to hold off till I got all this done to order the front. But we're gonna pick us out 4 that look pretty good and get some wheels and tires on this thing, because I'm ready to get it rolling around. When we get to the upcoming episodes, we're fixing to go into the horsepower department. We got a lot of companies that have supported us on the engine development side. Callie's, Manly Performance, Clevite and Molly, Holly Performance, Holly EFI. There's a bunch of folks that are on board with making Ronnie a really unique power plant. So I can't wait to get into the engine room, get into the engine shop, and show you guys what we're working with. MSD, pretty much all of our normal product sponsors that partner on a race team, we're really excited about working on this truck project. So as we get to the engine phase of it, I'll show you guys some of those pieces and components, some of the unique stuff that we're doing with this build, and we'll get to making that happen. It is now 7 a.m. and I have to go to actual work on my day job. So thank y'all for hanging out with me this morning while we kind of finished up some of the odds and ends on the suspension on Ronnie. I hope you're excited where it's going. I am, and we'll see you in the next episode.